Melanin, creativity, the flow of energy, justice, politics, money, jobs. A lot of things to talk about on the stage, especially when I'm addressing my melanin field individuals. And we decided to put it all in a playbook. That's right, you heard me, playbook. The guidelines to the melanated. Tune in and listen to the Melanin Playbook. We're waiting. Yo, you are now tuning in to the Melanin Playbook. Let me hear y'all make some noise.
What up? What up? What up?
What up?
With us gracing his presence for the first time on the Melanin stage, we have Jahmez in the house. And we are super excited for him to be a part of this discussion tonight, along with Queen, as y'all know. Eyez is on there. And we got King 100.
That's
Always
correct.
keeping it 100.
You
And
didn't know?
Herc is in the building. So we ready to talk it out. So you all should be aware of the Mental Health Day is on October the 10th. And we're going to do our due diligence to make sure we bring light to that in our community. So we're kind of paying homage to an old show of mine, which was just another smoke break. So we're going to give you a chance to get a mental smoke break today as we talk and discuss mental health in the melanin community. So the topic of today is, am I losing it? Mental health versus melanin lives. So I'm going to be the first to say, in our community, normally we do not feel right seeking out help for mental issues. It's just something that goes on in. We tend to hide it from each other, and the things that we go through normally get written off very quickly. We're taught to be strong individuals, so we never want to really bring it out and say that we're hurting at the moment or we're weaker than we appear to be. So with that being said, I'm going to leave it out on the table for anybody that wants to chime in.
Yeah, we've always been taught to. I think it kind of goes into like, because our religion that we have is like to pray about it. So, opposed to actually getting a resolution. Like, nobody actually gives you a real resolution when you come to them and be like, hey, yo, I don't feel good mentally. Like, I feel like I'm about to click out. It's always, well, just go pray about it. Like, it's never a real solution. Like, hey,
with you.
right, because you can't see mental health, you automatically assume ain't nothing wrong with you because people walk around because they don't want to be a burden on no one, and it just looks like you're perfectly fine. So I feel like it's really because we don't like to address a lot of issues in our community when it comes to just anything in general, the judgment that happens in our community. So it makes you where you cannot, or you don't feel comfortable with exposing yourself like that because you feel like you're going to be judged, or they're going to look at you, maybe run their mouth about it or what have you. So it's just a very negative thing when it comes to your mental health. Hell, we don't even take our physical health. So
Right. Right.
like it's like health in general in our community is just, we don't address it.
No, not at all.
So,
So I'm a combat you a little bit. I
Ding, ding,
feel
ding, ding, ding. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
I love I love to hear the different perspective and the different mindset. That's what makes this platform unique. But definitely, I can only speak for myself. I don't think I know that is common in the culture. But I know that me personally, and I think that Hurt can attest to this, like, yo, I'm always speaking how I'm feeling. If you're hurting me, yo, you're hurting me. Like, yo, kid, like, I'm like that. And for me, that's not me being weak. That's me being strong because I know my nature. Like, my nature, I'm very volatile. I have breathtaking anger issues. So like for me,
Don't forget the pickles on this man burger. That's all I'm saying.
boy, you crazy, like
Boy,
the
gotta have them extra pickles.
boy, the turnup is terrible. Like God, please, you know what I'm saying? He's still working on me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep it a buck. But nah, for me, I gotta talk about it. And even in my relationships, I've lost a lot of friends. And and I again hurt, we talk about it. People that I don't associate with because of the standard that I hold my friends,
Yeah.
because I will go crazy if my circle that I'm running with isn't on the same wavelength as me. Like, if you're a horrible person, realistically, I probably can't rock with you because I got too many things that I got my own demons. I can't afford to carry your demons too. You know what I'm saying? Like, your demons, my demons is enough. You know what I'm saying? And I'm struggling with them jokers. So, to have
Yeah.
that, for to me, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like as a culture, we don't want to get out of our own way, and we make a lot of excuses for the lack of change that we refuse to implement. That's me personally.
I'm gonna
Because,
chime in on that
yo,
part.
that's
I'm gonna
me
chime in on that part.
personally.
I would say we have a lot of like. I was just listening to Roger P. Henson interview, which me, Eyez, and Queen both heard, and she was saying that we have a negative stigma of 400 years on us that we have not worked through, we have not tried to heal from, and because we haven't, we don't break it down enough to really move forward. So you can't take your present day and try to keep moving forward with a bag full of stuff that's following behind you that you choose to ignore. So I agree with you on the part that it sometimes we overlook things. Like we allow things, to go on, and we're not covered it in on our space and what we keep around us. But at the same time, I feel like we have a lot of mental healing to do, and because we choose not to and we ignore it, we attack each other. And I think that's why the community is exactly where it is right now.
But it's almost like because we don't know how to.
I'm about to
Like,
say.
how do we exactly know how to when we never really did it?
I
Like,
think it's because in a way we listen to the history, we know the history of it, but that's like me meeting Jahmez and saying, okay, I see what he's been, I see what he's doing, but I'm taking his demons onto my demons, and now I'm trying to work through stuff that I'm not meant to work through alone. Like it's a group effort to heal and move forward, because a lot of these things happened before we was even in existence. We just know the history of. So then, of course, knowing the history of what happened to your people, working through it, you have to more think the basis of how it affects you right now in this moment, and start to heal from that, because you're not going to heal from slavery. You're not going to heal from civil rights. It happened. It's there. It's a scar. You will forever be reminded of it. But you can choose how the world moves forward. At your hand. Like, you have that freedom to do that.
I look at it as like death. When you have someone that you really truly love and care about, right? And they pass away just suddenly. And of course, you don't probably know how to deal with it at that point, but you know you got to go on and move on and be strong, not for the person that just passed away, but for yourself. So it's ways of doing it, but you got to understand yourself. You have to communicate. You have to talk about it to whoever you talk to. It has to be spoken. And when we talk about going back 400 years, yeah, it happened to my ancestors, but I don't have to deal with that. It's what you put your best foot forward now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of us, we like to dwell on 400 years, a mule and all that. Fuck that mule. I got to worry about myself right now. You know what I'm saying? So excuse my language on that, but I'm just saying we got to worry about self, and I think that's what we get lost at. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's been 400 years and we still ain't got that mule. So
that mule is
focus
due
on
unto
self.
you.
Right. It really is. It is
I'm
over. I
just
think they
saying.
owe us 10 each by now. 10
Keep
each.
waiting on it. Hey,
You are due
you
a
gonna find
mule.
yourself stuck.
We do a
So
tax
mental
refund, a
health.
lot of things that we're due. But I think like
No.
when it comes down to like us and mental health in our community, I like me and Jahmez had a conversation the other day. Well, Jahmez know my battle. I'll bring this in. Jahmez knows my battle with mental health. I think everybody on here almost knows my battle deeply with mental health. I don't think people know it to a severity level, like as in like where I was last year at this time, but I know he knows, and I know Eyez knows definitely where I was, and I was literally ready to take myself out, like out of the game completely, and it was because I'm in a community where, as a black man, I'm taught to be strong, to keep taking the hits and move forward, and we get to a point with each other we don't want to hear the stresses of each other and how down we are. We trying to keep moving forward. That's our mindset. Oh, it's not going to bother you. Keep taking it forward. And that I wasn't able to do that. I really wasn't. I thought I could, and I tried for a good minute, and I could not. And it was a conversation that me and Jahmez had one morning that he was just like, "Hey, call somebody and get help," and then call me back because what you putting on my plate is going to take me out too. And I'm trying to get it and I don't have it. You know what I mean? I can say I appreciated it because he didn't tell me like, "Oh, just pray about it," or "Dude, it'll be all right." He didn't lie. He knew it was a severe moment in it, and it wasn't until later, like months later, when we sat down again and had the conversation, the same as me and Eyez had the same conversation, and it was like, this is how deep I was as a black man, as a person of color. Like, this is how bad mental health affected me. And I think in our community, it's overshadowed. One thing I can say, the reason that it was hard for me going through it was because when you open your mouth to tell people, they tell you it's not as bad as what it is, especially in our community, because we compare everything to slavery, civil rights, police brutality, us being discriminated against right now. Like, we compare our past, like stuff to what's going on now, and then it's like, mental health don't fall into that line. It's not really a threat right now.
Shit.
Like, we need to worry about this
Okay.
right now. We trying to make this money right now. We trying to do this right. Like, our mindset is completely off. So in our community, we're taught pray and move, but prayer does not have a timestamp that you can put a request on to send it up. Because if it did, I would do it on a daily basis. If I knew I could say, "God, I need this blessing to come back down within the next 4 hours and 22 seconds," because
Exactly.
otherwise I'm finna break. Like, like I wish
Right.
it
But you
worked
don't
like that, but it
you
does
don't get
not.
an answer.
You don't get an
You
answer.
don't get an
And
answer.
so I think this between last year and this year, I watched a lot of melanin individuals, especially melanin men, who have succumbed to mental health issues. And it's a sad thing to watch because in our community, we're thought to be the full masculine man, the one that don't need anything. If anything, he's providing. He's not taking away. And when we do ask for something in return, it's like it's frowned upon, reviewed as weak, so we keep our mental stuff to ourselves. And then now you have it where we are in the high number of suicide rates because we bottle too much in our community and we're not trying to fix it.
Awareness is
Agreeable.
awareness is the first step. Because sometimes you can be depressed, sad, going through a whole lot of stuff, and you don't even know it before it's too late.
Yeah.
I
Or
agree.
and being understood is really a challenging thing in the male community. Most melanated people who are stressed, depressed, or whatever they got going on, they feel like no one understands them. So
Yeah.
True that. And that's why it is a lot of help out there for us, and not just for us, but for everybody. Because mental illness is a struggle. And if they don't get the right help, it can become worse. And I understand when back in the day, our people say pray, but you can't burn your hand and say pray about it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
go
So
get
You need a
certain
resolution.
Hold on.
things,
Hey, you gotta hold on
yeah.
because we got a Reverend Son on the thing right now.
No, but I'm just
I'm
being
I'm
real.
one too, but
No,
I'm
no
just saying it's some
disrespect.
PKs. It's some PKs
But
on the line.
I'm just saying you cannot put your hand on the stove and burn yourself and then say pray about it. Some things, yeah, prayer is needed, but with mental illness, you need answers right there and there. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying when I say about the prayer
But see, I
situation.
would
Like,
honestly say with mental health, like I think that's our thought process for it. But it's such an internal, but it's deeper and it's more internal, and it's not a quick
yeah,
answer solution. And it's actually where, like, I recall myself getting up days crying because I was in existence. I can recall moments like that. I can recall
hmm,
moments where I'm pushing throughout the day just to be normal, to act normal among individuals, and I'm in my mind screaming, why am I in this headspace? Why am I going through this? Why is this happening? Because you don't have the clarity, and then when you're trying to talk about it, is you're putting too much focus on it. You're putting too much focus on it. You're allowing it to get to you, and it's like, no, I don't have any control over it, how it gets to me or how it comes at me. I remember an incident when I went to Florida in May. I had my first like big breakdown in front of my family. When I tell you, if you would have thought we was black people playing Clue in the theme park, like how we figure this out, like because when it happened, they're not used to seeing me in an emotional way. The public is viewing like, hey, it's a big black man over here crying, like is being viewed in a different manner, and it's like they're like, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to react, I don't know what to do. I hug him? Do I leave him alone? Do I talk to him? Do I let him be? Do I pray or do I give him space? Like I don't know really what to do. And I was in that space of I'm in this world and I'm existing and I feel off to myself. And I feel like I'm in a bubble with my demons and nobody sees the demons sitting around me. And
understood. And that's
so
just like,
it's a very strong situation, and when you try to say it or you put it out there, some people will get it, and some people, they'll take it and they'll be like, hey, I can only give you surface because it's something I never dealt with. Me and Dessa, not Dessa, but me and Eyez had a conversation this morning about the mental battles we had when we both hurt ourselves. Like we both hurt ourselves, our back got broken basically in a car accident each, and I think it was like a year apart from each other, if I'm not mistaken, like a year
Yeah.
apart from each other. Our back got damaged in car accidents a year apart. She had hers the year before I had mine, and we went through this moment where we couldn't do nothing for ourselves. People had to help us get out of bed, they had to help us get dressed, they had to help us go to the bathroom, they had to help us do a lot of things. And when we were telling individuals about it, nobody understood where you was coming from with it, because it's not until you wake up one morning and you can't do for yourself, or you can't help that you can't do for yourself, is when it finally clicks in. And I remember having that conversation with her, with my husband, with other family members, and I'm telling them, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is my vibe, this is where my head at, and being like, oh, it'll be okay. Pray about it. It'll get better. You'll get back to walking again. You'll be back in there soon. Da 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 da. And I'm like, no, that's not how I'm feeling. Like I'm depressed. Like it just
but
got me.
see,
I'm a big enough person to be able to say I am depressed. But in our community, even vocally saying it out loud, some people still don't hear it because they don't want to go deep into that cave of mental health and be like, I don't know. It's not. It's not.
but I wouldn't say
And
that because, like, talking to us and say one of us was going through that and we come to one, each other or whatever and try to bring it to the front, we are not in a position to help nobody. Just like, you said, my man told you, yo, you need to call somebody and
Yeah.
get you some help.
No, it's
You
not.
have to
It's
speak
not
to a
being in a
professional.
position to not help, but sometimes we don't even do that. Like I before getting to
You may
Jahmez,
not
how
know
many
how to
people,
do it.
how many it takes nothing simple for you to say go seek help. It's simple as that. But sometimes we are in our own space, especially in this community, we are in our own space and we don't want to take the time to step outside of our stuff just to even say, hey, I think you should go see someone.
but you're putting too much you put too much expectation
Yeah.
on the people that you're interacting with. Because to be fair, the only reason why I was able to tell you to go get help, because I myself went and got help.
Yeah.
Me myself, I was able to assess that I can't do it by myself, and even me myself and my relationship, we still go, because it's not when you're go it's not the bad days only. No, it's the good days too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we get lost and complacent in the good times, and we stop what was working that was helping us get through because, okay, I'm good now. I'm having more good days than bad days. So I don't need it
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Like
But
like
the
slavery and the
good
civil rights.
the good days are the practice days to prepare you for the bad days.
Yeah.
So that way, when I no longer potentially may not be in communication with you, right? Because to some degree, there do there does become a self accountability piece.
Yeah.
Because when you go to therapy, no matter how much help they give you, they still teach you how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could feed you all day, but if you
Yeah.
don't know how to feed yourself,
I was just about to
what
say that.
how do you expect to be successful on days you can't get a hold of me, or I'm no longer your counselor or therapist, or I'm no longer interacting with you, or you have a fallout, or something significant happens to whatever that avenue is? You got to be able to still account for self, which culturally, right? Again, that's where for me it's hazy because granted, I'm just as much a black man as the next. I get treated the same
Yeah.
as the next. I get held to the same standard as the next. But the difference is that my mindset is
It's
that
different.
correct. That's not going to be my excuse for why this happens. I'm from the Bible Belt, so I understand the monster in my backyard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's be clear. When I see it, I'm almost, as you like to say, hurt, numb to it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It just be what it be because I already know what to expect when interacting with those different personalities and backgrounds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, right? I say all that to say that a lot of times we just put too much expectation on people, and you got to understand a lot of times, right? And I was telling her earlier, if you want to know what type of person you are, add everybody that you surround yourself with, and you are the sum of your circle. So realistically, if
Yeah.
your circle is in that state of mind, well then, yo, my math is good. This minus this equals, you know what I'm saying? Immediate fix or plus. You know what I'm saying? So, um,
I wouldn't go as far as I wouldn't say the expectations on individuals is too much or you're putting too much expectations into people. I would say some stuff is a common decency. And the thing about it in our community is when people are screaming for help, nobody answers. But the moment that they do something to themselves or something happens to them, why didn't he call me? Why didn't he pick up the phone? I could have been there. I could have did this. It's like we wait until it's late. And it's not holding the expectation, but sometimes people really just they don't know how to get help, and they're not coming to you to be a nurse, a doctor, or a therapist for them. They're just saying you are all that I can get to in this moment, and
but
I'm not
but
trying to like
that's still
no,
expectation. That's still
it's
that's
still
still
an
expectation.
expectation. No, it's still an expectation. But what I'm saying is, like in our community, one we have to honestly admit to ourselves we've got to a level we don't want to help each other in anything. Almost, it takes a lot for us to stand together, and that's been something trickling down since we got out of slavery, going into civil rights. The moment that we started to get rights up under our name and be able to do certain things individually, we split out like roaches when the light come on. We was gone. We was like, all right, you do you, I'm gonna do me, I'm out. And so we don't look out for each other as a race as we used to. And that's why a lot of things like this happen, like same as police brutality, like us getting murdered and killed out in the streets. And what we do, we stack up a hashtag for a week and then we back to being our old selves like ain't nothing happened. It's like if it doesn't affect us directly, we're not too much participated in it. And that's us as a race. That's the new like setup of the melanin community. I will help you
But
to this extent, and then all right, I'm
but
good.
honestly, in my opinion, the only way I can feel I can help anybody is if I done been through it. So if I never went through a mental illness, I can't even acknowledge it when they do approach my, front door.
But
I don't know
but
what
You
it feels
know,
question,
like.
but if somebody approached you with a mental illness though, do you know what steps to take to direct and guide them?
all I can do is give you the number. I
I
mean,
mean,
because I
that's
don't
better.
know.
That's better than
Just
nothing.
like
Right.
you said, I don't know. So I'm
But
not gonna sit here and be like, well, this what I do, because everybody's mind is different. You know, I can sit here and tell you, man, you should have done this way, you should have did this, or you need to do that. I'm not in that profession. You know what I'm saying? But if you want me to fix a water pipe or cut some grass, I can help you on that. You know what I mean? So mental
but
illness,
I mean,
it's
I didn't have to be a therapist to know that Hurt had to go to a therapist. Like I understood,
I
right?
mean,
And I don't know a
that,
lot about anything. I know a little bit about everything, enough to get me by. And I
but you
know,
said you
and I
went through it.
no facts. I did, but in the
That's what
same
I'm
token,
saying. That
like one thing that I don't excel at is, and I'm just going off brand, money management,
yeah.
right? Like I'm all right. Like I know how to manage my finances. I know, you know what I'm saying, debt and income. I get that. But really to like maneuver my finances, like that requires an extra person for me. Like I got a financial advisor that I go to for about 90% of my financial moves or big ticket item purchases. I'm asking questions because I want to know, like, really, how does this affect me? How
I
can it
pray.
help me?
I
And I
pray.
need, see, I can't pray because prayer done got me in the poorhouse a couple of times. I'm gonna keep it G, like
I
yo, like
mean,
if
Yeah.
yo, like let's keep it cool.
you gotta
I
like
yo, I
know.
do yo. I'm like this. I get up early before the sun get
I'll
up.
be like, he
Home,
didn't say nothing.
yo,
That must mean I should buy it. Let me go and get it.
no, no, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I gotta call. Hey, I'm about to purchase such and such. It costs such and such. Bank account look like such and such. Yo, what are you trying to do in the next 30, 60,
Bro,
90?
I just pray
Like,
before I go to the store. I
bro,
pray at the card machine. I
no.
pray while I'm picking it up. I
I'm
I,
with
I
Cliff.
be forever.
I'm
I
like,
be
well, I'm out.
fasting. I pray when I swipe the card. Even
Bro,
when the balance
I
checks
pray
out,
at the
I'm
register.
praying. I'm praying
yo,
that I don't
like,
have to bring it back. I'm praying for a lot of things. I'm forever praying and anticipating a
Boy,
blessing after the fact.
are they getting absent?
but
Put
Yeah.
a time limit
but,
on it.
I brought that up to say,
I'll be like 30,
like,
60, 90. Am I going to keep this for 30 days? Or am I going to take it back in the 60 return period? Or am I going to sell this to another individual in 90 days? Like, what's going to
Come
happen?
on.
but
Oh,
I'm giving you the mindset of I understand that yo, like, let's be clear, I'm just one person, and granted, I like again, I feel I know a lot, but there's so much I don't know nor
yeah.
truly understand. That's why God made masters of finance, masters of real estate, master
Masters of Hogwarts,
of
a lot of things.
bro, yo, everything, yoga, and yo, God made masters of so many things, and
Namaste.
whatever I need, bro, I gotta be willing to, yo, closed mouth don't get fed. I believe in that 100%. Even in this day and age, I ain't never let that go since I left the young rah days of my past life. Like, yo, closed mouth don't get fed. So,
Sad, yeah.
in my mindset, even with mental health, yo, like closed mouth don't get help,
Yeah.
and that's just keeping it a buck.
Yeah, that's
Like yo,
stupid.
and realistically,
Well, that's
even if I have friends that don't do, now you gotta ask yourself them hard questions about the type of friends you rocking with, and that's a whole nother conversation for itself. Because in mental health, if I can't get help from my circle or my friends, then what type, you know what I'm saying? What type of circle am
Yes.
I running in?
yeah.
Who am I running with? Because realistically, granted, Hurt, you and I have the closest relationship. Eyes, we're growing. Queen and Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? We growing. But Hurt, I still have an expectation that you still push my life forward. You got to make me better, bro. Like, and when I have my bad days, and you know I got my bad days,
Yeah.
like, yo, I'm expecting you to return the same help that I gave you. When I was good and you weren't, when I'm not good, because I'm not perfect, I'm human,
Yeah.
living my human experience. Yo, you pick me back up because that's you pouring back into me like I poured into you. If you can't do that with your circle, then what type of circle are you running in? Which is an ugly and hard question
It's a
that a lot
black
of people,
hole. That's the word you tripping. It's
bro,
a black hole.
people ain't gonna want to answer that. Yo,
It's a
and,
black hole. If your circle is where you can't do that, it's a black hole. But if you tip too hard, you will fall in to somewhere you are not trying to be. And that's just being real. Like if you can't open and expose yourself in the circle that you're in, and you can't bear your darkest with them, you don't. That's not a circle you need to be in. I can honestly say that was the one proud fact of dealing with mental health and what made me become open with it, because I was like, I feel like in our community we do hide it and we keep it to ourselves, and it's not something we verbally want to put out. And I can remember the first day I decided I was going to post it up on Facebook, I was in heavy depression, and I said, at this point, I can't hold it anymore, and I don't want to hold it anymore. I was like, people are used to seeing me this fun, crazy, wild dude, cracking up jokes, having his moment, and I was like, that's not what's sitting in this house when I'm in here by myself. And I remember posting it up on there, and I said, I'm gonna make it clear because I need y'all to understand what energy it takes for me to be that individual when I'm not at home. And so when I posted it, a lot of people called and it was like, I would have never guessed you were struggling with mental health. And I was like, a lot of times in our community, you never would. We're taught to put on a brave face. We were struggling with mental health out in the fields picking cotton. It didn't show in photos, when they took whatever, it didn't show in our history. We never talked about it. We was going through mental health when they beat us, when dogs attacked us doing civil rights, segregation. It was still going on then. We never took the time to address it. We kept pushing forward. And now we're in a day and age of police brutality where us, especially us as black men, are scared to walk out of the front door without possibility of not coming back into it. And that's mental weighing on us too. It gets us. And it's like, we don't talk about it. We don't address it. We keep moving forward. Black women, being considered too strong, being considered this, not understanding what the black women go through and what they tote mentally over 400 years of things that have gone on inside of our community. Our community is filled with mental illness. And just like other things in the community, we choose not to address it. We don't want to address slavery. We don't even talk to each other about slavery. We have ancestors that had parents or grandparents that were slaves and they still will not talk about it. We have people who was alive doing civil rights. They will not talk about it. We are in times right now where during the 90s, people was coming up missing left and right. And that's stuff that we still do not talk about and address. We don't take the time to talk about police brutality at this moment in the generation we are in. It is issues that we choose not to address. Anything that's mentally that's going to get on us and cause us to feel less than or have to stop our flow to deal with, we do not want to. We choose not to. And
so
then
then
we wonder
so
why
my
in our community is when situations like this happen or the topic comes up, why can't we fix it in a timely fashion, or why can't we seek out the help? We're not trained on how to do that.
so then my
There you
question to
go.
you, but my question to you is so what do you do about it for you?
For me
Because
personally,
and before you answer that, I ask that because one, I understand my history, right? His story, her story, but I ain't never been no slave. Now
right?
I have been a victim of of racism and the mistreatment of my culture, being randomly pulled, you know what I'm saying, hey
Yeah.
you, like, let's be clear, I've experienced all of that. But one thing I know, as for me and my perception of my culture, is we'll live in that negative so much
Yes.
longer
I was just about to
than
Then
say,
we
we
should.
will than we will put the effort into being better.
or
And
help
I know
change
that.
yourself.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like for me, bro, I'm out here educating myself,
Yeah.
pushing myself. I didn't already started telling y'all how I'm over here living and
Yeah. And
thinking in
and, and I mean,
my
Some
mentality.
days,
Like,
some days
yo,
in my
like,
brain, some days
you
in
know what
my
I'm saying? Like,
brain. Oh, go ahead.
it's not that I don't acknowledge it. I just, it's like when you get it out of a bad relationship, I just don't forget. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, I remember and I know, like, yeah, like I
yeah.
understand that outcome. But for me, like, yo, like I just continue to want
But
to be better and live better. And not only that, push myself further. But the likelihood, right? If we, because right now we are the oddballs. Like we're a part of the weird group that's trying to live better and be better.
yeah,
But the common individual in our culture will sit here and want the mule all day, but we won't do what we got to do to go get our own mule. And
Mm.
right now, yo, the ancestors will be proud at the type of entrepreneurship and millionaires and billionaires that's being created
Yeah.
during our time that we never thought we'd see, the financial literacy that we never thought we'd see. Y'all better not hide it in no book because I'm reading it. You
But
feel
see,
me?
the difference with a lot of those individuals too is they educated themselves on our history, and they was not afraid to make them to let it be known. Okay, this is stuff that has happened. Like I go into Black History museums on every vacation almost. Like I love to see our history, good or bad. I educated myself in that moment because being able to see where I came from says not only the more important reason of moving forward, like you say, and becoming better and having more, because as the generation continues to grow and we go into the future, I need my kids not to be ashamed of who they are or the legacy that they're born into. It's not something that we're supposed to be. You need to know that, yeah, we went through it. It was bad, but look how strong we are to be existing right now, and we're still thriving and making it. Like that's the key point of it. But see, we don't go to those type of like museums or learn that type of history because of the trauma, the mental trauma that we have going on with it. And the mental trauma is not even a result of us and in ourselves because we wasn't alive during that time. So it did not happen to us. It was just that's all we was passed down was mental trauma. And so then when we go inside of a Black History Museum and there is list upon list of us that was lynched, and there's list upon list of slaves that was on, and you see the plantation, and you see the beds, and you see what we laid in, and you see what we dealt with, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so mad, I'm upset, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I understand, I would be upset too if I found it out in the history. I was like, but at the same time, what are you doing now to make sure that that does not repeat itself? How are you bettering the culture right now? How are you setting us up for more success? How are you making it where those deaths and those things that happened to us back then don't go unnoticed, and they're not for a loss of anything? Like, how are we building the culture now? How are we growing it? Because like you said, on this live right now that we're on, everybody on here is entrepreneurs. Everybody on here. That's to be able to sit on a platform that's called the Melanin Playbook, no less, and say that everybody on here basically runs their own business. This would have not been the case in 1920. This would have not been the case in 1980. I mean, or 1880. This would not be the case then. This would be imagination land right here for them. You know what I mean? Real talk. And it's like now we are where we can do better and be better. So stop using the mentality of the dead, because that's really what we're doing. We're allowing ourselves to have the mental trauma of the dead and we're keeping it upon us. And I think we do it. We're upset because we allowed it to happen. And just like suicide in our community, we get upset and we feel some type of way behind it because we allowed it to happen. I didn't step in. I didn't chime in. I thought all he needed was prayer. He was going to get it together. I didn't step in. That same energy is where we get our trauma from. We do when it's too late to do it. And we got to get out of that phrase. We got to be like, hey, if Jahmez is looking to grow and I see him growing, I'm not finna sabotage or crap on him. I need to be there for him. I need to support him because during slavery, that was my brother, regardless of where he came from or how he got here or what plantation they shipped him from. That was family. It was even through civil rights. We ate at each other's houses when we didn't have enough money. It was 15 to a house. We can't even sit 5 in a room. Like that's us now. Like a lot of things have changed, and instead of us addressing the mental trauma, we kept conforming to the mental trauma, and we wonder why we're no better at the moment right now.
I think it really is mainly like education. A lot of times, just kind of piggybacking off of what 100 has said, like you have to educate yourself on what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I know what it looked like if you got a broken leg. I know what that looks like. I don't know what it looked like when your heart is broken or your brain is broken. I can't see. I don't know I can't see that physically. So we have to educate ourselves on the signs, knowing the people around you, seeing when people moving different. Like we tend to not be vigilant, pay attention because we got a lot of stuff going on with ourselves. So it comes off as though you don't care when it's not that. It's just we ain't
Don't
paying
know.
attention. Or you don't
I
know.
mean, I felt it coming. I
You
was
don't,
sitting there watching the whole entire
It's
time. I said he finna come out and say something. I'm looking the whole
it's
entire
not
time.
So
it's
so my old golly, I'm trying not to. So like my thing is that if
Preach.
you nah, if you carry yourself and you implement an expectation in your personal life, when individuals in that state of mind, or if they are misplaced in those situations, when they step into your atmosphere, naturally you will identify that they're broken, something's wrong, something isn't making sense, because I naturally carry myself daily. As you've engaged with me on a number of times, and my energy is very like high.
Mm-hmm.
Queen, you know I'm a put like, yo, if you talking to me, we gonna probably talk, but I want to know what you're doing to further your life. Only
Mm-hmm.
because of the tempo that I'm pushing mine. Every day I'm up before the sun comes up.
Yeah,
I
bro.
That's my me
I
time.
still don't know how you do it, but
It's cool. But I mean that's only because I see the value in that silence, in
You
that
making time for
peace.
your mental health.
right.
Facts. That's my
And sometimes you
yo,
gotta do that.
that's my time to wake up and thank God for waking up, and
The
it's a
best
beautiful
part of waking up. I'm sorry.
you
Go ahead. Go ahead.
know what I'm saying? Like now I get to thank him for up, receive the blessings of the day, command the day to be positive, command the day that it's gonna go well, and
Right.
whether it's good or bad, because I
Woo, preach.
understand I can't control. No, I'm not trying to.
Go
So I
ahead. What
understand
you
I
doing
can't
it? Go ahead.
control the bad, but what I can do is speak it and then walk it. So then
Amen.
when Herc comes to me with his mental health, I'm not a therapist, but what I do know is I carry myself with too much positivity for the negative energy, because the negative energy is heavy.
Yeah.
It's tiring. It's
Mm-hmm.
exhausting. Like I can feel it. It feels like it's sucking life out of me.
Yeah.
I can't identify it, but you got something going on only because your frequency is like the
And
opposite
that's
of a
all.
magnet.
My
Like yo,
God.
it's bouncing off my frequency. I woke up this morning feeling great, God
Mm-hmm.
great. Like yo, like it's a good day,
Folgers
and
in the cup, ready to go.
bro, your energy dragging. Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say I don't have to experience shooting somebody to know, like, I really don't want to do that. I don't
Yeah.
have to experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I should be able to, only because of how I carry myself.
Yeah.
So, again, right, it all goes back to that self accountability. The more that you account for self, the more you'll be able to identify to assist others.
And I can
Because
definitely say that because me and
it'll happen.
Jahmez, like we'll be on it. I think like a couple of days ago, I answered the phone and he said like one sentence, and I said, "What's wrong with you?" It's just that simple. And I even
Facts.
do it when I'm on the phone with Eyez. I'd be like, "What's wrong?" And
Lord.
like because you can sense it, and
Duke power.
Yeah, but it's
and you can kind
yeah,
of sense
but
it because
when,
like me and one King 100, like if we come over, we drink, we party, we are high in energy, same as me and Queen, and it's like if I was to walk in that house and not say anything, or to come in and you like, what's up, you ready to drink? And I'm like, yeah, give me. You gonna be like,
I
hey, what's
feel like, what
wrong?
the hell is wrong with you?
Right, you sense
yeah,
it.
but is that mental health or you just having a bad day?
The thing about it is
But that, I mean, that's still mental health, though.
we think
Bad day
mental
is
health
still
has
mental.
to be severe, and it's like no, it's mental health is mental health. It's whether
Facts.
I went in and tried to write this check for the rent and it got my mood down. That's my mental health. Because I'm gonna tell you, I used
Okay,
to have bad anxiety so bad, and I ain't even ashamed to say this. When I used to go into Walmart to get a money order for my rent, I used to sweat so hard you would think I'm playing basketball in the line. I'll be up in there just sweat running down my head, and I'm up in
Why?
there because I lived in Mississippi. I was very like skimming for money at that point in time. So anything I paid for made me nervous because I was like, I'm paying my rent, and yes, I'm happy I got a place to stay. But if anything else happened this month, I ain't gonna have no money for nothing. If my tire blow out when I leave out of here, I ain't got it. If I break my leg because this dude with the gazebo, whatever that they want to call that thing. They be rolling around the store. If he hit me, it's it. I'm down. Like I can't go. Like my mind was always. I was in black mode, as we call it. You know how we do
Y'all
every
trying to laugh a
scenario.
lot.
I was in black mode. And so I'm
But
like, bro, I'm like, if a buggy hit me in the parking lot, that's 2 weeks off. I'm gonna be kicked out. My light's gonna be off. My phone gonna be on its last leg. I done already wrote them a bad check. Like it's like you really be in your mind because that's
Right.
how it is. And people, it's not until you struggle that you learn to embrace the positivity because people think you embrace it when you got it all. And me and I sit there and talk about it all the time. We'd be like, at the lowest was the most fun time of my
Man,
life
we had so much
versus being at this high where I'm now, and Jahmez can know it, you are holding this standard to yourself. And it's like when you down here, you ain't holding this standard. Your standard is just to get the hell out of where you at. Like that's your only standard. It's not a bar. It's not I'm thinking about how to do it. It's just I need to be able to buy groceries and tissues and my car not decline in that day. That's your mindset when you are low. And it's like when you are up there, you like, bro, if I'm driving this Jeep and I'm looking cool, and then the next day I come in this Pinto, I'm gonna have to answer to some people. So I gotta make sure
Nobody
mama
for help.
and
Pull
see,
up in the Pinto and talk.
but
and
that's us. That's our mindset.
yeah.
I'm glad we having this conversation because in my mindset, I'm thinking mental illness. Illness means something that lingers on for a long time.
No.
So what y'all
No.
just
Mental
expressed to
illness is
me
like
was
Stress.
schizophrenia.
if you catch a flat tire and that fucking with your head, that's a mental illness problem. Basically, is what y'all telling me.
I mean,
Not a
No,
it's
mental.
altered.
It's
That's not
not
a.
a mental
Because
illness, but
something
it's
it
a
that just
altered your mood.
There you
Yeah.
go.
something that
There you go. That's a better description. Mood
It alters your
altering.
mood. You be messed up.
Changes your atmosphere.
but
so
Hmm.
It
everybody has a
like
mental. Everybody has a
that's
mental.
Mental
So
illness is
yeah,
something
mental
you
illness
but
can't
is
see
help.
it's something you can't
but the,
control. And so it's like, let me give you an example. Let's say if you are in school and when it comes to doing quizzes, you do perfectly fine. Classwork, perfectly fine. But when you get to a test, you screw up every test and you
That's
got
called
straight
brain
A's. You
fog.
done got straight A's on every test, on every regular assignment. But when you do testing, you just don't get it. That's a
And they
mental
get
issue.
you.
And so it's or same
I
as
got
like
that.
if Jahmez can be like, I can walk down the street, but if it come time to cross the street and I'm in panic mode, I can't
That's
go across the street.
dyslexia.
You know what I mean? And
No,
it's,
that's
it's
not.
and for
No,
me,
it's not,
but
but it's
see
low
that's
key.
and see for
but
me, my
listen,
thing is
that's
like
something
I
but
learned
that's
that I
something
have
that
a
is
problem with people.
reoccurring.
But see, I learned like for me, I have a problem with certain individuals. Like everybody that's on here right now, I'm cool with. I can see you anywhere. I can be in a room. I'm fine. We can even when you have visitors open, you don't notice me act any differently. All right, cool. When I'm in a bigger space and there's more people, I it took me going to therapy to realize I have a OCD with personal touch. So I can't be around and Eyez can she knows it because I've called her and said, I gotta get the hell up out of here. Like I gotta go. If somebody touch me, I'm gonna go off. Like I know I'm gonna go off. And I didn't realize it was an issue until going to therapy and they was like, when they said, why you don't like people touch you? I said, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know them people. And that's what we say as melanin individuals. Then she said, no, say it in a different way. And I said, I feel like I didn't ask you or you didn't get permission to touch me, so don't touch me. And then the therapist said, no, say it again. And I said, I think I don't like people touching me because you are putting your spirits or your aura into mine, and I did not warranty that from you. So I don't want you to do that. You see how I broke it down and I got deeper and deeper into it. So it's different levels to it. Mental health can be on the surface and it's little things that get to you. And it can be a little bit deeper in where it's like it's not to my core, but it is there where it turns off my mood and I can adjust it back. Or it can be deep enough where I don't have control. If I get up tomorrow and I'm in a bad mood, I don't have a way to control it or flip it. It is what it is.
Hey, another example.
How you feel
I'm
about
a natural. I'm a natural introvert that extroverts well. Like right now, I seem like I'm just like the world's greatest extrovert.
Yes.
But yo, Hurt already know. Like it take nothing for me to call it a night. And I'm the type where it's like, yeah, we going out about 9, and then my phone go on silent at 8:55,
Okay.
and I fell asleep. Cause you know what I'm saying? And I might be wide awake, but I just prefer to chill with me because I like me. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody else I interact with, but I'm just such an advocate for self. Like, I love myself. I love myself and my sanity, my comfort level so much. I love it so much that it borderline interferes with my friendships. And I kept it 100 with her. I said, bro, I know I've been a horrible friend lately because and I keep it a buck with him. So the easiest thing for me with him is he be like, yo, I'm about to come over. Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Shoulder.
he just implements himself into my life, but I'm cool with him being around me. So it's like, all right, whatever. Like,
I
yo,
feel
and he
you.
comes exactly. He just comes over. Like, that's the easiest way because 9 times out of 10, the likelihood of him getting an invite from me
It's like slim to none.
ain't gonna happen, bro. And it's
Like
not even that
I asked him for his address, and he was like, "Here you go." He was like, and he said, "I'm just gonna say drop in when you want to drop in, because you probably never
but
get an invite from me. So
I'll
just when you
never
get ready,
invite you.
just
But
drop in."
you're always I'll
And I've
never
been
invite
over
you,
there
but you're always
twice
welcome.
since then.
Hey,
I'll never invite you, but you're
my
always
stomach
welcome.
got a mental illness.
I'm not gonna laugh because that's not something to joke about. Your stomach has an intestinal problem, not a mental illness problem. God.
My God, today.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Right. I'm about to walk off
boy,
too.
Man.
hey,
I'm
boy.
about to get up and leave.
I'm
Cause
only dead because she was so serious. She was like, my
Yeah.
stomach got a mental problem.
no, you got a mental problem.
And
And
I
then
was
Oh,
she
shit.
got right up on the camera.
Ooh, boy.
Oh.
Boy, she
You
done
got a
killed
mental
the whole
problem.
thing, boy. She was
Serious.
serious.
Well,
Jeez.
let's end
Oh,
this, cut this
man.
off. So this was a
Man,
good
man.
conversation because now
I
people's
love
stomachs
y'all
are
people.
starting to
You
have
gotta make me
conversations.
laugh.
No,
Laughter is good
goofy.
for the
So
soul.
Goofy.
I'll just
Nah,
go.
man, but I mean, I love it. I love to be able to express self. I ain't gonna lie, y'all been real spicy lately though. I've been keeping track of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been real.
We had to give them something fun the last time,
Y'all
but
was real
we're going into our,
grown.
this is the
You
serious section,
know.
so this is all you guys are gonna, like, y'all
Hey,
gonna have
hey,
to get ready
but
for
nah.
this.
I
It's gonna be
love it
some
though.
lesson learned. So
I love it
um
though. Growth
but
happens.
as far as Mental Health Day, I want everybody to give a positive message to our people that are struggling with it. And we want to just let you know, hey, we see you, we're here. Even if you want to email us to just talk, hey, come on. We don't want to know. I would rather you email us and we reach out versus you commit suicide or do anything negative on that way. So, anybody got any positive messages they want to leave out?
I
So,
just say, man, if anybody or any of our viewers who are going through situations and don't know how to deal with it, just reach out to a professional or a friend, but you have to put it out there so people can understand because some people may not know. So just please seek help, and that's all I can really say. Just get help because one less person in this world would be devastating. So keep it 100.
you're not alone in this battle. Always talk to somebody. Get it out. Never hold it in. Because bottled up emotions is not good at all. So, and one thing for sure, laughter is good for the soul. So, try to be around high energy, somebody that's going to make you laugh. Get your mind off of whatever you got going on. And that's it. That's all I got to say. But laugh and love and be free.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
eyes. I know you about to get deep on it. Be present.
That lyrical miracle.
You feel me? Go ahead, girl.
Drip
Do you?
on
Do you?
us.
Do you? Do you? Go ahead. Do you?
I still
Go
want
ahead.
to
Go
get on
ahead.
the
Do you?
intro.
Go ahead, sister.
Mm-mm,
Go ahead.
Preach.
She
mm-mm,
Preach.
about to grow our spiritual. All right, here we
Oh
go.
man.
mm-mm.
For coming from someone that has dealt with a mental breakdown, I would say through that whole process, connect. Like, no matter how hard it may be, you have to connect with that because a lot of times we try to suppress it so hard, and that's what makes it more than what it is. Like you waste the time that you can be using to actually heal yourself. Connect with it. Find you a circle like we was talking about. Connect yourself with people that will energize you when you are at your lowest. So you will be able to heal that. And, you know, if you need to speak with someone, I didn't speak with anyone, but I feel like it is necessary for people that everybody have heavier things that they got going on, some things that you can't hold on your own. So if you need to speak with somebody, do it. Don't feel shame. Don't feel scared. Don't feel like, oh, well, everybody see me as having it all together. Nah, because people, you will be surprised how much people love you when you reach out about issues that you have, especially when you got yourself in the correct corner. So, you know,
Facts.
love on yourself, because that's where it starts too. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't tell yourself, oh, you stupid for even feeling that way. Nah, love yourself, you know, and just try to surround yourself and engulf yourself with positive energy so you can push all that negative out, and balance, get grounded, get in nature,
Girl,
that all
positive
helps.
message, not a
Be
manual.
I
Golly.
mean, I'm
present. You feel
yeah,
me?
like you gotta
Let's
understand,
go.
we didn't go in depth on how to get it together. Like we
But
talked
we can,
about it,
we
but we didn't
hey,
go in depth on how to actually heal it.
hey, but we got nothing but time on that.
Right.
We
Okay,
got nothing but
so
time on that.
yeah,
But
I love
And
y'all.
there's always part twos. So
hey,
I love
facts.
y'all. How about that? Go ahead.
Yeah, facts.
There it is.
Reverend Jahmez.
Hey, yo, cause I know
Hold on, let
King
me say it
Kurt
right.
gotta close us off.
Reverend Jahmez. Go ahead. All right,
Nah,
go ahead.
yo, so uh definitely now me, I'm a spiritual individual. So if you got a faith, walk in that faith, walk in it out loud. Don't One thing I feel like about us as people as when we're doing positive things, doing the right thing and doing positive things is considered goofy or weird. And it's not weird being positive and doing the right thing. Definitely, me, myself, my friends, my family, we go to therapy. Everybody, including one of my besties, Hurt. Like, yo, like facts, we go to therapy. So there's nothing wrong with it. Definitely be about self. Yo, every day, command your day. Whatever it takes. If you get up at 7, get up at 6. If you get up at 9, get up at 8. Make time for self. Command the day. Positivity, affirmations. Um, Write the vision, make it plain. And I can go on a list of things that you should do. Yo, factually, like definitely 100%. Make the time for yourself. Make that time. Positivity, demand the relationships around you, demand the atmosphere around you, the days, command them. We are powerful, we are powerful, we are powerful. Walk in that power 1,000%. And that's all y'all got from me, man. I love
Right.
y'all. I
Break,
appreciate all y'all.
break every
And I'm
chain.
gonna just say,
Thanks.
you are a normal individual. There's no such thing as a normal, standard. And don't
Let's
think of
go.
yourself as being any different. Like everybody goes through things, everybody struggle. Some struggles are harder than others, but we all overcome them in the end. So
Thanks.
keep yourself focused, keep yourself together. Don't allow things to control your life. Don't allow things to control you and who you are. Be powerful, like Jahmez said, in your own right. Love you through
Thanks.
all of it. If you love you, you can come back from anything. If you love you, you can come back from anything. And if you love self, you can invest in self. You can love self. You can trust self. You can be in the company of self and be at peace. And that's the main thing that we fighting for. So, and that's everybody, even outside of mental health, to be just at peace with themselves and love themselves and enjoy themselves and take care of themselves. That's what we're supposed to do with ourselves individually. So just make sure we're putting that positive energy out every day. Like Jahmez said, give yourself 1,000%. Don't give yourself a little 50, 60, or 90 or 100. Give yourself 1,000. Even when the world gives you zero, you keep yourself up there.
And get
So we gonna roll it out on that. It was a good episode. I
Next
enjoyed
week.
every minute of it, and it looks like we'll be back for a part 2 because somebody rolled out a little safety box. So we will definitely be back for a part 2. This has been fun, aka out to just another smoke break. So this was definitely a much needed session for us among each other and for people in our community. So we'll definitely be bringing it back. So our next week, I hope you are ready to tune in from Jahmez hitting you with that Black Lives, Black Dollars that's going to be down up on there. So tune in to know how to spend those bucks that he was talking about. He prayed and anticipate on because the 30, 60, 90 is different for different people. So with that being said, you guys have a good day and go out and be blessed.
Ho! I got something. Can I get on that intro?
Get off this thing. You about to goodbye. Bye,
Control it.
people.
Yo.
Yeah.